Just like this one breaks its ejection. 1, 2, no kidding. Down simultaneous. And then they run around side, jack it up, change drop it down, back. Oh no. Our battle off of that for us. She took it home to Buck, that make it look good. Dad brought back here. He's been busy. Hey, would you like to get the invitation? Thank you.
Well, good afternoon. Would you join me in prayer? Oh, Holy Creator, thank you for the food and for those we graciously serve it to us. Help us appreciate those who serve us on a weekly basis. We especially thank you for those others who serve us. Police officers, law enforcement, fire and rescue professionals, and our servicemen and women around the world. Bless them. Give us the humility to serve one another and our community effectively. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
So, welcome this Friday afternoon. Yeah, you ready for the reinforcement?
So we have just under 60% today, and we have a few guests. Ms. Coretta, would you like to introduce your guest?
Thank you. I'd like to introduce Stacy Carson. She's the new Greene County Food Pantry Community Outreach Officer. And she's also VFW.
Oh,
Welcome.
Thank
then Don has the returning guest.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have Blessing from, she is a Blessing too. Starting at the second meeting and look at order.
There. Thank you all for that. Would you like to come up here for a second?
Sure. Actually, if I could stand over here, that would be great.
Here, point to which stuff you want.
Yeah. My name is Kim Massey, and we're a family-owned business here in the Dayton area, Carrot Promo Essentials. Many of you know Holly Beard, probably my daughter. She couldn't make it today. We have brought one of every size of all the apparel options on your order form. We just set up a brand new online order form for you. Have QR code here as well as a link. If you want to order today, you're welcome to. You can do it on your phone or I'll help you on my iPad. If you're more interested in just knowing where to go when you need something, when in the summer maybe you don't have anything that's cool enough, you've got plenty of things here to choose from. I really encourage you to try the apparel on if you think you're even remotely interested in the next few months, because some things run small, like Travis Matthews, wonderful polos, but they don't run the same exact way as what you would buy at Kohl's. So we bring them so you can try them on. And please ask questions.
Thank you, Kim. Appreciate it. But I figure you can explain it better than I. Chris, you ready?
Thank you. Taking more time off, get that in time. Thanks, sir. Should we?
All right, good afternoon, fellow Rotarians, and hello again to our guests, Blessing and Stacy, and of course our incredible speakers who will be up here shortly. And welcome again to the Rotary Club of Beavercreek, and happy World Day Against Child Labor. And as parents, I think we all know the truth. Eventually, every kid gets drafted into helping out. Some call it free labor. I prefer to call it early leadership development. Moving on to some birthdays and anniversaries. We got David Stewart celebrating his birthday on the 15th, followed by Brian Lampted on the 16th. Wedding anniversaries, we have Sharon Fulcher celebrating 46 years of marital bliss on the 14th. Not to be outdone by Charles Curran celebrating 63 years on the 15th. And then Brian Lampton celebrating a whopping 2 years, even though it feels like 30 years, with Karen on the 17th. Some good things that have happened today in history. We have in 1776, I heard a good year, Virginia's colonial legislator became the first to adopt a thing called the Bill of Rights. 1939, the National Baseball Hall of Fame and Museum was dedicated in Cooperstown, New York. 1967, the U.S. Supreme Court voted unanimously that the state laws banning interracial marriages were unconstitutional. And in 1987, Ronald Reagan gave that speech over to Germany to tear down that wall. Moving on to some things to celebrate this upcoming week. Tomorrow, you can celebrate National Golf Cart Day and also National Knit in Public Day, Army's birthday. And if you want to celebrate that, you can also celebrate National Bourbon Day as well. Monday, we got National Smile Power Day, along with National Foam Party Day. Tuesday, we have National Day and International Waterfall Day. Wednesday is National Mascot Day, along with National Thank a Teacher Day, which is weird since school's out, but I don't make the rules. Thursday, we have Clean Your Aquarium Day and, ironically, International Sushi Day. And then if you're looking for some things to do this week, not too much going on that I came across, except for Thursday, our friends at the Chamber will have their monthly business links over at the Beavercreek Clay Courts Tennis Club from 4:30 to 6. Not a lot of stuff going on in the school since we're out of school and on summer break, but we did have the men's track and field team compete in the Division I state championship last week, where they took third place overall. That included second place finishes in the 4x200 meter relay, the pole vault, the 800 meter, and the 1600 meter. And that is their best finish in the state tournament since 1943. Thank you. So flying right along to today's fines. If you're not wearing your badge day, that'll be $1. If you were late, that'll be $1. If you've ever been in a golf cart, that'll be $1. And if you've ever used your child for free labor, we are now collecting on lost wages because that'll be $1 as well. David, time for happy bucks.
Oh, China. Thank you. Appreciate that. Does anybody have any happy bucks? Oh, yeah, Fred.
Would also like to give $1 for today is Women's Military Veterans Day.
Thanks. Very good. Did not know that. He had, Kurt?
I'll do one. I thought it was three because as earlier this month, all three of our kids are officially card members at the Green County Library and competing in the summer reading.
Megan runs the library, aren't
Anybody, any other, I'll get it right here. Any other happy bucks? Yeah.
I have one. I started a new position over on the base this last month. That's why I haven't been seen. And I have been using Mr. Huddleston's accounting cards and tips to refresh on some things. So I appreciate his help and being a good colleague. So,
Thank you. Any other? Nope. Sorry. I think it's still collecting. All right. Yeah. That's it. That's Very much. It's very good. I see a bell over there. I'm gonna start getting a helmet. We didn't have a bell. That would be. Thank you. Thank you. Space. Ticket number, the last three numbers are 378.
bingo.
It's good. It's been a while since the other one. Spring.
Yeah. Hey,
See what I read to it, because I kept pulling it on last year.
Joker.
Joker.
Minus me, all right.
Well, that's good, that's good. We done? No more after that. So, Joe, would you like to introduce our speaker, please?
Thank you, sir.
Present.
Yes, sir. Not yet. You still got present for a couple more weeks. Hey, I appreciate you drawing my ticket. Almost there. I'm honored to introduce our next guest, Christy Hawker, Fire Chief of Beavercreek Township Fire Department. Chief Hawker brings more than 25 years of dedicated experience in fire and emergency service and is widely respected for leadership and integrity, professionalism, and a commitment to public service. Throughout her career, she has advanced through the ranks through hard work, exceptional performance, and a clear dedication to excellence, ultimately rising her to Fire Chief. Chief Hawker has played a significant role in strategic planning, accreditations, program development, and a continuous improvement that has strengthened both the department and the community it serves. She is known for her relationship-focused leader who builds trust, fosters collaboration, and brings strong sense of purpose to her work. Chief Hawker values the opportunity to connect with fellow community leaders and service organizations such as Rotary, where a shared commitment to service above self that makes a meaningful and lasting impact. So without further ado, Christine Hawker. Hey, appreciate you. There you go.
Let me get all my tools set up here. And back is forward.
The white button.
Oh, look at you.
Good idea.
Yeah. Oh, nice. All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having the fire department here today to present. I believe it's been over 9 years that we've actually presented to the Rotary Club, so this is a very unique opportunity. I also brought some guests today, so I'll introduce those guests, and a few of them will be speaking throughout this presentation as well. So Fire Marshal Randy Grogan, who you guys are all very familiar with, Division Chief Lee Polis, and Division Chief Alex Ferguson. All right, that's a good start. All right, so to introduce myself, first I would like to take the opportunity, TA Rushing would like to send his apologies for not being able to attend today. He had a family matter that he needed to deal with and was unable to attend. So he does send his apologies and looks forward to the next meeting. With that being said, I would like to introduce myself a little bit. Fire Chief, I take great pride in serving this community. I've been in the fire service since 2000. I actually grew up in Bellbrook, graduated from Bellbrook High School, went on to attend Wright State University, where I played soccer and softball on a scholarship. And then from there, I graduated with a bachelor's in education. After I graduated from Wright State, I pursued my teaching and coaching career. I did that for 10 years before I decided, you know what, I still don't know what I want to do before I grow up. So when I grow up, I wanted to be a firefighter. So I took the initiative to switch careers, decide if that's really what I truly wanted to do before I gave up my teaching career. And then after getting into the fire service, I started with Washington Township Fire Department as a volunteer and kind of figured out my way if that's truly what I wanted to do. And I absolutely all in. I was hired by Beavercreek as a part-timer in 2002 and worked my way up to this position as fire chief, which I never expected to happen. As the chief and the boss was supposed to be here a few more years, chose to take a different path, and I'm super excited to be sitting in this seat. I lead a fantastic organization, and I wouldn't be in this seat if it wasn't without them. All the personnel that we have are true professionals.
They work very hard to maintain their certifications, to be top notch at everything that they do. And I just appreciate all the effort that they put into and making me look good. So it's a great honor to be standing here as your fire chief, and a position I never thought I'd be able to obtain. And it's pretty cool. So with that being said, our command staff, which are 40-hour employees, our Assistant Chief Dustin Harrison, and then Division Chief Nathan Heaster, those two are not able to be here today. They're out enjoying water activities. So one is on a cruise and one has been a lake. So, maybe we should be out there. Sounds like a better option for us. So that's just a little bit about me. I also am a credentialed fire officer through the state and through CPSE, as well as I attended the Fire Executive Officer program, which is a 2.5-year program. It's kind of like a master's, but it's all geared towards the fire service. And I'm currently seeking my master's in fire executive leadership and administration. All right. So the image you see on your left, we are very proud of. As of January 1st, 2025, we became a Class 2 ISO. So that's public protection classification. And what is represented in that and evaluated are 4 major categories. So, excuse me, your emergency communications credit, which is your dispatch center. So our dispatch center is in conjunction with the city. So the next piece is the actual fire department credit. So they evaluate our entire fire department for such things as training, our apparatus, our staffing, what type of equipment we have on our apparatus, if it's NFPA compliant, all those types of pieces, as well as we have a water supply credit and a community risk credit, which Fire Marshal Grogan is very integrated into those 2 pieces. So he will probably speak a little bit about that later. Our overall improvement since 2017, when we were a Class 3, our former score was 75.59. And we now hold a score of 83.63 out of a possible 105.5 points. So we're very close to an ISO Class 1, and there are only about 450 departments in the entire country that are Class 1 rated. So we have a big goal, lofty goal in front of us, and I think we can obtain it pretty quickly. So that's one of our goals as an organization, is to have that ISO Class 1 recognition, as well as it helps our residents. So what it does for our residents is it determines the fire risk, and it is utilized by the insurance companies to decide your premiums. So what they prioritize for us are staffing, our station locations, hydrant programs, and then training documentation. So the training documentation is one piece that we feel like we could probably improve on a little bit. We've got some new software in place that's going to assist us with that through our accreditation process. And with that being said, we think that will put us over that mark to get us to that Class 1 ISO rating. So we're looking forward to that. All right, so our organizational chart. So our total staffing, so all the personnel that we have in our organization, we have a chief, an assistant chief, we have 3 division chiefs, we have 3 captains which operate as our shift commanders, we have 57 firefighters, 15 lieutenants, fire marshal, 2 administrative assistants, and EMS billing specialist. So with those 57 firefighters, that also includes 2 prevention specialists. That's also fire certified. As you can see from our org chart, top priority are the residents of our community. So that's the most important piece to our organization. That's who we speak to. That's who we serve. So you guys are the ones that own our equipment. You guys are the ones who helped us purchase those beautiful pieces of apparatus that I'll show you later in our presentation. Then the residents fall underneath. Then we have the trustees. So the trustees, then we work our way down to the township administrator, who is ultimately the fire department supervisor. So that's kind of how it flows. As you can see down here on the right-hand corner, This represents one shift for us, so we operate on 3 shifts. So we have from here up is our 40-hour staff, from here down for 24, 48-hour staff. So 24 hours they're on duty from 7 in the morning to 7 the next morning. And then for 48 hours, they're off duty, then they come back in. So we have 1 captain, we have 5 lieutenants, 1 for each station, and then the firefighters who fall underneath that. So that's currently our org chart. Next up, we have our mission, vision, and values. So this is a very, very important slide for us. In August of 2024, we started our 2nd strategic planning process. With that process, we brought in internal and external stakeholders, and we held 4 work sessions. During those work sessions, we developed collaboratively the mission, vision, values, and then the strategic initiatives that you see before you. So with that, we also performed a SWOT analysis. So strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats to not only our organization, but our community as a whole, to determine what our strategic initiatives are going to be and how that's going to guide us with our strategic plan for the next 5 years. So that was a very valuable strategic planning process. It's the 2nd one that we've done. We did this one a little bit more internally, meaning our organization kind of ran with it instead of kind of hiring it out and contracting that service out. So it saved us some funds, as well as it gave us an opportunity to truly evaluate what internally we felt we needed to be evaluating and how to move forward with our strategic plan. Next, we have our department capabilities. So on the left-hand side are our line personnel capabilities. So fire suppression, advanced life support, EMS, so hazardous materials response, and then tech rescue. Underneath tech rescue, we have multiple disciplines that our firefighters train for each and every day. Those tech rescue disciplines mostly come out of Station 61 on Dayton, Xenia, and Orchard. So those personnel are highly trained to participate in each one of those disciplines. So one of the ones we utilize the most is probably our water rescue. So every Memorial Day, every Labor Day, kayaking starts. It's the last chance of the summer for Labor Day, so people go out again, and we make quite a few water rescues. We just pulled 6 individuals off the river a couple weeks ago. So it is one piece of our technical rescue program that is highly utilized. So the slide portion on the right, so that is our community risk reduction in our fire prevention division. And they do things like plan reviews, they do code enforcement, building inspection enforcement, they do fire alarm testing, inspections, investigations, all kinds of things. And Fire Marshal Gurgen will speak to that a little bit later. And then on the bottom is our auxiliary. So our auxiliary is a special force multiplier for us. They have, I think it's over 80 volunteers right now in that program, and that program falls underneath the fire department. It is run by Steve and Kate Hone at this time, and it was developed quite a few years ago. And it was developed by 2 individuals who had a house fire, saw what the firefighters did on scene, and realized they needed some assistance, and that's how they wanted to give back for what they did on that particular scene. Right now, our auxiliary does 4 main things. So they're victim assistance. So if somebody suffers a structure fire, they are there to walk those victims through the whole process. They provide hotel information, as well as any type of needs that they have. They can help those victims assess those needs. They do on-scene support, so that's rehab for the firefighters. They provide food, water, snacks, aspirin, whatever it may be that the firefighters need, rehab cooling systems, those types of things. That's what they provide for our firefighters on-scene support. And then they do the community response team. So the community emergency response team is also better known as CERT. So that is a team that we can put in place. For instance, if we have another event like 2019 with a tornado, we can utilize those individuals to be a force multiplier in helping us assess damage, helping us determine if there are people trapped. They can hand out water, those types of things. They can help the victims through the process of any type of, rehab that they might need. So that's a very neat process. I've been part of that as an instructor, as well as Fire Marshal Grosjean. And it's actually a really fun class to teach, and it's neat to see how invested volunteers are to helping serve the community. And then lastly, we have the cadet program. So the cadet program is for our youth. Any youth from 14 to 21, I believe it is, are allowed to become part of the cadet program, and we utilize that as kind of a recruitment tool for us. We teach them the ways of the fire service. We help them get through their schooling. We provide ride-along opportunities, and then we've hired 5, I believe, at this time from that program into our full-time ranks. So it's been a great piece of recruitment and retention for us. All right, here's the pretty pictures. So this represents all of our new apparatus as well as the type of apparatus that we currently have. So we have medics that take the emergency medical calls. We have engines, we have a rescue engine, we have a ladder, and then we have a rescue trailer, as well as some, command vehicles and utility vehicles, which aren't so pretty, so I didn't put those up here. But the difference between an engine and a rescue engine is basically all of those technical rescue disciplines that I mentioned before. That rescue engine houses all of that equipment. So all that extra equipment that we need, ropes, those types of things, tripod systems, all kinds of things, our extrication tools for auto extrication. That is the piece that houses all of that equipment. The rescue trailer actually houses, kind of hard to see, houses a boat and a Kubota. So the boat, as I mentioned, is utilized on multiple water rescues, from swift water rescue to, going across the pond, whatever is needed at the time. Our Kubota is used for places like the Narrows. So if we get a victim that's way back in the Narrows and we need to get them out, or we need to get them medical assistance, we can pile all of our equipment on that Kubota, get it to them, start the medical care, and then we can transport them out to the medic. So that's also a very valuable piece, as well as we use that to staff a EMS and fire crew at the Popcorn Festival. All right, this next slide kind of demonstrates how we determine what our station location is. So there are multiple pieces to determine this, and a lot of it's done through the accreditation process and the standards of cover. But some of the pieces that are utilized are the frequency, severity, and impact. So the frequency is basically how many times a certain call type happens. So how many times do we have an EMS call type? And then it also drives our staffing and our station density. So with that, once you determine the frequency, then you have to determine the severity. So think of an EMS basic call versus a tornado event. So those are going to, the tornado event's going to determine that we need a significant amount of resources in comparison to 2 people for a basic medical call. So we have to determine that severity for those call types to then be able to assign the impact. So what type of impact is it on our community? And a BLS emergency call is not as huge of an impact to the organization or the community as it is if it was a tornado. So tornado would wipe out all of our resources, and it also is, the impact to the community is also huge at that point. And the time to recover from those incidents. So time and distance is basically, think of that as your response time. So how long does it take us to get to an incident from each individual station? So as I mentioned, the standards of cover document, that's a document, a founding document for one of the accreditation pieces. And it utilizes 3 principles. So distribution, concentration, and reliability. So distribution is basically, you can see, if you can see the red dots on there, that is the locations of our station. So where are those stations in relation to our service area? And then the concentration of how many people do we need in those stations depending on the call types that are in those areas. So what kind of concentration of apparatus personnel, other resources do we need in those areas? And then reliability. When we have a call that comes out, is that unit reliable or is it not at that point? It's not. So it's being utilized. So we call that the unit hour utilization. So we determine all those pieces and parts, which helps us identify where we need our stations. And if you can see down here at the bottom corner, this is where future station 66 is proposed. Right now, Station 66 is not going to be a benefit to us until the road gets put in that cuts from Valley to Indian Ripple. Because the purpose of that station being at that location is to help decrease response times. So also on this map, if you can see the separation of colors, the darker versus the lighter, this whole area is the township, which is what we serve. And then this is our unincorporated and this is our incorporated portion. All right, our annual call volume. So over the last 10 years, we've increased in call volume year over year. We had the smallest increase during the COVID year, but since then is what's represented in our current standards of cover document and the data that we're utilizing for our current accreditation process. So pulling the last 3 years of data, in 2025, we ran 8,136 calls, which is a 2.40 increase from the previous year. Just for those 3 years, we totaled 23,333. It's probably a good number for the lottery. The 25-year review on the right-hand side. So as you can see, it's broken down a little more. We have fire calls, emergency medical calls, and miscellaneous calls, and what percentage those represent. Emergency medical calls are obviously our highest call volume. They take up the most of our resources. And then unit movements. So unit movements means how many times did a piece of apparatus move from the station to go on a call. So 12,513 times last year in 2025. And we transported 5,080 patients to a hospital. All right, another very interesting slide is our funding plan. So since 2009, we have done 10-year funding plans. And the reason we have done that is to reduce levy fatigue on our citizens. So far, it has worked very well for not only the community, but for the organization itself. In 2009, which was our first 10-year funding plan, we chose to do that to protect our short-term funding changes. So it decreased those short-term funding changes and allowed us to plan for an extended period of time. So in 2013, a 5-year 2.0 mill levy was allowed to expire off of the books, and that gave the citizens an immediate reduction in property taxes. And then we also combined the 4 existing levies that we have now into 2 permanent levies. So in 2019, that started our second funding plan cycle. So as you can see, our funding sources are those 4 permanent levies. We have EMS billing, which brings in about 1.8 million a year. With our EMS billing, we do not bill our residents. We only bill non-residents. And then we have fees and permits. Thank you, Fire Marshal Gurgen. We have state receipts, and then we have grants. So the grants, over the last 10 years so far, we have received 2 very significant grants. One was a grant for SCBA, so that's our breathing apparatus that we wear when we go into immediately life and health situations where we need to don our masks, and then it's the air pack that's on our back. So that's what a self-contained breathing apparatus is. And then we also received a grant for the extraction systems for the exhaust in all stations, so all 5 stations. Each one of those grants was over $300,000 worth of grants. And then we have a small portion of a match for that. So those were 2 very significant grants that we received over the last 10 years. Our funding sources generate about 16.9 million for us. And obviously personnel is the largest expense in that category. And then we've had 10-year fundings in place, 2009, 2019, and our next one will begin and be evaluated in 2019 to begin in 2030. So as I said, it reduces levy fatigue on our voters, which is huge. And then the funding commitments we made for the 2019 funding plan were to maintain our quality and level of service. So that is huge for all of us and all of our members. We take great pride in what we do and how we do it and being professionals. And we take great pride in this community and everything that the community has provided for us. To staff and support our call volume. So right now, our call volume continues to increase, so we're going to need to continue to build our staffing. And then to build 2 new fire stations at $6 million each. So the first station was built, and the second one, the funds have been committed, meaning we have those funds. So we're just waiting to build the station when it's the right time. So we have secured those 2 fire stations. So the equipment, so we wanted to purchase 4 engines, 1 ladder, and 5 medics. We've done everything but 2 medics. So in 2024, we received 4 new engines. In 2025, we received the new rescue and the new ladder. In 2026 to 2029, we'll be able to put in 2 additional medics. So that will account for all of those promises as far as our equipment. And then we made a funding commitment to provide the community outreach and training. So public education, those types of events, popcorn festival, anything that's associated with those costs to educate our public on how to eliminate our risk, if you will. And then to plan and prepare for large incidents and natural disasters. So be able to be ready for those, hopefully one-off tornadoes that come through this community. So as you can see, our accomplishments kind of match what I just spoke of, and that's how we kind of utilize our funding plan. And I look forward to working with my staff in developing the 2029 funding plan that will cover 2030 and beyond. So our divisions. So our department divisions, we have an assistant chief who is unable to be here today. So I'll give you a little bit of a rundown of what he does. The assistant chief is Assistant Chief Dustin Harrison. He's born and raised Beavercreek. He graduated from Beavercreek, and he has a bachelor's as well. And he's sorry he couldn't be here today. He actually enjoys doing these types of things, so that he wishes he could be here, but unable to. And I don't, he's on the lake, so he's doing good. So what he's in charge of is basically he oversees all the operations. So he is the supervisor for every level below me. And then that trickles down, obviously. So he also is the accreditation manager. So that's a huge task. He's responsible for the 3 key pieces to our accreditation process, which is the strategic plan, the standards of cover, and then our self-assessment document. So the self-assessment document does a complete evaluation of our organization, and it tells us, hey, yes, you guys are doing exactly what you said you were going to do. And then we're evaluated by peers, external peers from other organizations across the country, and they determine if what we are doing is what we say we're doing and if we're doing it appropriately, and things that we can improve on if we need to. So part of what he is in charge of is the quality improvement piece for our organization. Personnel management, which is a big one, that's also shared with Division Chief Polis over there. And then our EMS billing. So next up, I would like to invite DC Polis. So each one of our individuals will be, thank you, Randy. Each one of our individuals will be giving you a little bit about themselves as well as what their division does for our organization. So for operations, we have Division Chief Lee Polis.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having us here today. This is exciting that we are able to get out to the public and to see you and talk to you and let you know exactly what we do. It's an exciting time right now. We are really excited about the new group that we have in charge of the fire department, and we look forward to giving this community the level of care it deserves and that you've come to expect. So, as I said, my name is Lee Polis. I'm the Division Chief of Operations. So I want to start that out with I'd like to say a student of Simon Sinek. He's very inspirational to me as far as a leadership person, and I have the honor and privilege to be in charge of 72 of our firefighters in this community. So one of the things, and I want to read his quote properly because I want Simon Sinek says, quote, "Leadership is not about being in charge. It's about taking charge of those in our charge." So meaning I need to take care of my people to make sure that they can provide to you what the community needs and expects. So let me see what we have up here. I'm sorry. The first thing that you think with the fire department is suppression. So we go out, if we have a structure fire, if we have any kind of thing, gas leaks or anything else, that is what we are out there to go do. We, all of our folks are level 2 certified as firefighters in the state of Ohio, which means they go through a 240-hour course to become that, and then we have continuing education throughout our career to do that. So that makes up probably about 15% really of what we do on a regular basis, as Chief Hawker mentioned. The vast majority of what we do is in emergency medical care. So that's about the 85% of what we do on a daily basis. And so the vast majority of our people are paramedics, certified paramedics in the state of Ohio, which is the highest level that we can have in this state. We do have a few EMTs. They used to be called EMT basic. It's hard for me to break that habit, but EMTs. And but we have a way for them to go through a development, and the department assists them through. So currently we have only, I think, 2 of our people who are not involved in that. So we are going to be almost all paramedics for this community, which is the highest level of emergency medical care. Technical rescue. We are an all hazardous department. So as the chief showed you earlier on, there's between rope rescue, water rescue, hazmat, ice rescue, other things like that. We are there for the call. And so we do have a high level of training that we expect, and we have a group that have continued on to develop past just doing the firefighting and the emergency medical care. So yes, we did just recently have an incident where we were mutual aid to Sugar Creek, and with our boat, we were able to save 6 people on the same incident off the river there. So we were very proud of that. But we've had multiple other incidents that we've had one technical rescue, and I'm sorry if I go a little bit long here. This is just kind of fun for me to talk about, but I was part of the tech rescue team when I was a firefighter, and we had a horse that was in ice in a lake that we had and was stuck in there, and I was able to assist. And we were able to save the horse out of the water. So we had a water and ice rescue event for that. So we literally do everything. So hazardous materials, we do operational level of hazardous material, and we really hope we don't deal with those very often. Those are pretty terrible to have to deal with, but we work very closely, and we have several individuals on our department who are part of the Dayton Regional Hazmat team, so we have that close relationship with them as well. And then I am the liaison between the fire department and dispatch. So I've taken that over recently, and I am working with Greg at dispatch, and we are making sure that all the standards that need to be met are being met, and providing feedback, and making sure that we are getting the equipment out that needs to be sent out on any dispatch. I think Chief Hawker had asked me for a couple of questions that sometimes come up in the community. One of them is when I call and for an EMS incident, I have an emergency medical incident. Why does a fire truck show up? The answer to that is we go through every type of incident, and we evaluate what kind of manpower do we need on that, and what kind of skill level do we need. And so we may have somebody who falls and hurts their knee or something like that in a medic unit on its own, the 2 people can take care of that. But if we have somebody who's having a stroke, having a heart attack, or even a cardiac arrest, we need to send more people. And so when we only have 2 people on a medic, we send a fire truck who has paramedics on it and has all the same equipment available and can get to the scene quicker and start the care. And then we have the right amount of people on the scene to take care of all the critical steps that we need to do to maintain that. So that's one of the reasons that you may see a fire truck show up first, or even along with a medic unit. The other thing is people say, why do we see you at Kroger so much? You guys must really like to see us. And yes, we do. We enjoy eating. But with that, I want to give a little explanation behind that. One of the things is, as Chief Hawker mentioned, our crews are on duty 24 hours. They're on for 24 hours in a shift. They start at 0700 and end at 0700 the next day. So part of that is we do need to eat. But there is a long tradition of having meals together in the firehouse. So one of the things with that is, because we essentially work a third of the year together, our extended family is our fire service family. And so we have those meals, and that's the time we can get together, discuss what's been going on with the day, help debrief each other, trying to get to having that time. So we don't always know who we're going to work with because schedules change, things happen like that. So we do allow the firefighters to go to Kroger to get the meals that they planned for the day. So we have them go once in the day, so they get their lunch and their dinner, and so then they can have that time. Now during that, they are not off the call. They don't get meal breaks. So if they're in the middle of Kroger's, and this has happened multiple times, if they've got their cart full of groceries and they're getting ready to go check out and the call comes in, we drop the cart and we go to the emergency. So we do not take breaks in that. And it always happens, we can have a steak dinner and you're guaranteed to get a call during your steak dinner. So we don't do steak dinners. So beyond that, the final thing with that is I want you to know that the fire department and the community do not pay for those meals. Our firefighters pay for those meals out of their own pockets. So it is not something. So just want to try to make people understand why we do that. So if anybody ever asks, please let them know. We're not trying to take advantage of anything. It's truly to take care of our people and keep that tradition that has been the fire service for so long. And was that the 2 questions you had for me?
Yes.
Okay. And then so I will move on because I could talk about operations all day. To the Division of Administration and Technology. So Chief Easter is our Division Chief of Administration and Technology, and he is fortunate enough to be on a cruise right now. So he's a well-deserved vacation that he has. He has had. This is his second round, I believe, in this role, and he is a whiz at what he has to do. When I got promoted 2 years ago to division chief, I started in that position, so I got a small taste of what that means, and it's incredible. It's a whole different line than going out to fight fire and taking care of sick people. It's all about budget and regulations and all the other things. So as I believe he said at the city council meeting the other day, his job keeps the motor running underneath the hood. So we want to, there's so much that has to be done. There is a business side to what we do, and it's extremely important. And we couldn't do what we do without someone like him, who's in there making sure that the bills are getting paid and that we have the finances and is doing the forecasting and other things like that. So he is heavily involved in budgeting. We're right in the middle of looking at the 10-year funding plan right now as we go into the next levy cycle. Payroll. We really appreciate him for payroll. That is something that we all love the calling, and we're in this for the love of the job. It is nice to get paid, and he makes sure that we get that done. Capital improvements. He makes sure that we have the money to buy the fire trucks, to get the stations, to purchase or work through getting stations built, things like that. And then he is a technology whiz. So his technological support, we really could not do it without him. He has an ability to work through that, whether it's through the radio system. He is involved in marks from a state level, and as well as he is our top liaison between us and our IT firm that keeps us going. So these days, when I started, we still had paper reports, and then now it's beyond that. We are so heavily involved in technology, and he keeps us going with that. So that's all I have to say about that. So move on next to Division Chief Alex Ferguson. He is going to talk to you about being Division Chief of Training.
Good afternoon. I'll make it quick because I know I can talk a lot, so I'll try to keep it going here. But yeah, so just introduction. I'm Alex Ferguson. I'm Division Chief of Training, as they said. I've been a firefighter for 20 years. I've been with Beavercreek since 2009, so 17-ish years. Love the job, love this place. It's a great department. So you guys are in good hands, and I'm glad to be here in front of you guys to speak and ask questions at any time, please. But yeah, so like they said, I'm Division Chief of Training. I know the bullet points up there don't sound super flashy and fun and stuff. Development requirements, logistics, and CEUs. That in a nutshell is what I'm doing on the back end behind my computer right now. But what that means, to keep it in common terms of everything that Chief Hawker and Chief Pulse has said, is we come to work for 24 hours at a time, and the calls they go on is all hazard. And that is a fact. And Chief Lindsay can attest to that on the police side. The things we go on and see is incredible. We're there for people's best day of their lives, childbirth to the worst days of their lives, to death and houses on fire. So we were everywhere in between, tornadoes, you name it, water rescues, ice rescues, all of the buildings that are being constructed in this area. There's trenches, so people down in trenches and things collapse on people. And that's the importance of our job and of our service. And it's the best job in the world is we are there to help people. And so what that means and what I'm trying to say is, along with all of that, being an all hazard department, we have to have training. We can't just show up on somebody trapped in a trench and just hop in there with them. We have to have the right training to do that and set up a system to safely pull people out. We're responding on the stroke calls and cardiac arrests and structure fires. Along with that, there's so much training that is involved with that. And so my job as the Division Chief of Training is to analyze each of those sections. And like Chief Hawker was saying, our capabilities is fire suppression, EMS, tech rescue, as well as administration. And with that comes a whole list of training on how to safely fight fires. How do we safely go on an EMS call and treat the heart attacks? And technical rescue, I'm a huge advocate of tech rescue, as they all know. I use a former rescue specialist for High Task Force 1. I'm a Region 3 rescue specialist. And with every single one of those disciplines we provide comes a whole giant amount of training. All of the highways we have, car wrecks, new battery powered vehicles, all of those require specific types of training. So that is my job, to look at what we're doing as a whole for our fire department and making sure that we're following national standards, making sure we're up with OSHA standards, making sure our CEUs are correct. We have to redo our certification every 3 years, so making sure that we are in line with all those check marks. So yes, so that's basically me. I'm here. I can ask as many questions as you like. Yes.
Has life been harder or easier now that you've moved farther away from your mother-in-law?
Who set you up for that?
Oh yeah, my best.
Who sets you up for that?
My best friend Matt from.
Oh, is it?
Last week.
Oh, very cool.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I'm married to Matt's sister, Amy. So that's Brad. Great. Things are going real good. Man, they're great.
Have you ever done, as a technical rescue, anything with the grain silos? I've seen several things on it. It's very interesting.
Yeah, so I started my career in Spring Valley, which is, if you're aware of Spring Valley, it's out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's a farm community. So yes, I've been involved in a couple of those, and those are different types of rescue scenarios. Yeah. The state offers a grain bin silo training, but I've been fortunate to attend a couple of those. And yeah, so we've had people trapped in grain bins, and the dust from the corn is an explosion hazard, not to mention if somebody falls in on the top, it's like quicksand, basically, and it traps them. So yes, We don't really have many grain vent silos
Right.
anymore in Beaver Creek, maybe a couple here and there, but yes, I have been involved in this. Yeah, absolutely. Different type of rescue, for sure. Yeah. Any other questions before we keep moving? Yes, sir.
It's kind of open to all the speakers here today. Some would say last year the highlight of the fire department was taking back the Battle of the Badges trophy. So I just want to know what did that feel like hosting that trophy and what makes your guys' facility better than the rest.
But I tell you what, just wake up in the morning and just every day it just feels really good. Feel proud of it. Yeah. Yeah, we shine that trophy every Monday. So yes. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. That's a great blood drive, and I won chili cook-off one year, so it's been a while. So anyway, well, thank you very much. If you have any questions, please feel free. This is Fire Marshal Grogan next. So Brandy.
We're running short on time, so I'll kind of go through this very briefly again. This is probably the most important part of the fire department, so I wanted to make sure. But I only get like 2 minutes. Like that. I am the fire marshal for the fire department. We have 3 people that work in the department currently. One is myself, I'm the fire marshal. One is a gentleman that's been with us for a number of years. He's actually a nice at 3. His name is Randy Carroll, another Randy in the department. But he actually is taking Jim Henley's position, who he just retired after about 26 and a half years. So miss him, but Randy's been good for that. And then we actually just brought someone up from the street, Steve Hamilton. So we have 3 people total in the bureau right now. And basically, we're kind of structured to do a few, basically about 3 different types of disciplines: inspections, investigations, and public education materials. So I'll talk a little bit about inspections just briefly. It's kind of broken into a couple different divisions, including zoning, where we take a great deal of pride in working with the city zoning department and the engineering department staff in regards to developments in the city, to make sure that they're in compliance with fire code when they come around and they're being proposed, like hydrant placement, and make sure we have 2 ways in and out of developments. And when structures come in, make sure they know what is required by all the codes. We also maintain a great relationship with our township zoning. We're in the same office. We actually share an administrative professional with them. So it's great to work with them, especially with all the development on the residential side, in the non-incorporated side of the jurisdiction. The second of the disciplines, I'm sorry, to still stay with inspections. We also provide fire protection plan reviews for kind of primarily focused on making sure that fire protection systems like sprinkler systems and fire alarms go into buildings appropriately. And we do that with some cooperation of Greene County Building Regulation. We actually have myself and Randy certified as Board of Building Standards fire protection inspectors, so we can actually take our fire department hat on and put a building department hat on to make sure that all those projects, everything that comes in with the fire protection system is proper and safe when it's first initially opened up. We also do tons of other inspections, including fire safety inspections for adoption and foster care, conduct numerous inspections for the schools, healthcares, hospital, medical facilities. We jointly inspect a lot of the rehab centers and the hospital with the state fire marshal's office, because they have licensing through them. So we typically kind of go out with them to do a lot of inspections with them. We also do odd things like underground fuel oil tanks. There's still a ton of underground fuel oil tanks around Beavercreek from the 70s when they were installed. We observe those, make sure that they come out properly and that there's no contaminants in there. We also do simple stuff like tent inspections, pretty easy. So those are kind of the 3 groups of the inspection discipline. Of the other disciplines, we actually do fire investigation for basic cause and origin of fires in any kind of structure throughout Beavercreek. When those fires get a little more upscale with potential maybe criminal fires related, we work with the City of Beavercreek Police Department and a lot of times the State Fire Marshal's Office to be able to investigate those. City of Beavercreek and the Marshal's Office have a lot more resources to determine, potential criminal issues with that, or additional investigation options that we can that will help us with that. And then kind of the third discipline, and maybe one of the more important ones, is the public education, as Chief Hawker was talking about, the risk aspect of community risk development. And basically, the three of us, plus the administrative professional in the Bureau, takes care of a lot of the planning and scheduling of the department's public education activities, including open houses, the school programs, station tours, various things like that. We do not have an individual that does that, the specific public education. We truly need that, and that's one thing we're looking at for our potential next year budget cycle. But in the meantime, we provide, relative fire safety education, material, prevention we schedule stuff for our fire crews for basic fire safety. We conduct stuff like fire extinguisher training. And we do that for businesses, public facilities, so like GE. We've done it for the Mall Fairfield Commons and multiple medical businesses. However, with all that public education we do, we primarily want to focus on the risk perspective of it, and we consider the elderly and the very young as probably the highest risk in the community. So therefore, we've crafted a few programs specifically to that in the public education side of it, and that is like fire and fall protection for seniors, and beginning fire safety for young children. And actually, we were just done with the first half of Safety Town with the police department. They invite us out every year to participate in Safety Town, and we love being a part of that. Actually, kind of function pretty well with PD on that. So. We also do a number of things in coordinating and managing some of the big community projects like the Fire Prevention Week Open House and the Beavercreek Popcorn Festival. Matter of fact, I'll go back to the collaboration in the open house. We always do the tri-truck with the city parks department every year. That's always on the same day, general location. And finally, we do a couple other public education programs, for example, the residential loan Knox box program, where we can provide Knox boxes for people, typically the elderly or disabled, that provides they can take one of their keys, put it in this Knox box, we can hang it on their door. We have access to their residence while still keeping the keys secure. And we also provide some smoke alarm and CO detector giveaways, again, for high risk environment, or the high risk community members that are out there. So that's all I have. It was really quick, but 5 minutes, and I'll let Chief Hawk finish up.
Hey, Randy, real quick, those
Yes.
Knox boxes, is that fire specific, or
Yes.
any of the emergency services has it?
No, just Knox boxes. Knox boxes are just made for the fire department. Now, there are some police, there are some jurisdictions that have a combo type of Knox box, police and fire, but typically it's just for fire departments. And basically what it is it's a secure key, master key, that sits in our engines. And when we go to a facility like here at the golf course or Myers or somewhere, there'll be a Knox box on the side of the building. And inside that Knox box that only we have keys to are the keys to the facility. So they stay secure in there also. And again, that key that is on our equipment in our possession is tracked for users.
Sure.
Okay.
All right, just to wrap up, the last couple of slides that you've seen are some of our collaborative efforts, our active threat training that we do with the city, the schools. This year it's going to be at a church. And then our Citizens Academy that's held by the Beavercreek Police Department. We participate in that. So that's always a fun adventure. And then we have some pictures of our live burn training. So these are annual live burn training. This year we did it down at the Dayton Training Center. So we utilized their high-rise tower. And that's it. I just want to say thank you again for having us. It's been a pleasure. We have a lot more information we can provide. So we would welcome an invitation back at any time. Also, as you know, we are firefighters and not public speakers. So we are trying to utilize these opportunities as professional development for all of our employees to get everybody in front and speaking in front of the community and the public and getting our faces and names out there so that you can feel comfortable coming to talk to us and we feel comfortable coming out talking to you guys. So if you have any critiques for us, we are welcome to that as well. Questions?
Go ahead, Bridget. Hey, you guys cover Beavercreek City also, right?
Yes, sir.
Because on your org chart, it says Beavercreek Township.
Yes, so we are a township fire department that covers the city. So if you remember that map that I had up here that had the division, so the unincorporated area is the township. So the whole piece is the township, but that unincorporated is on the right-hand side and the city portion was on the left-hand side. And we cover that entire service area. Yes, sir.
I'm just gonna say, what do you think about inviting us in for lunch one day?
I'm up for that, sure.
You buy it?
Yeah.
The program, you buy
We did it, sir. Yep.
It is $3 Shane Sludge. Any of your crew, once they're really polished up their public speaking, they can join the Rotary. So we can start at arms and every.
Yeah. He's low. By the way, Randy is an amazing representative of your organization. So just throwing it out there.
Yeah. And even you do a good job of getting out in the community, which is something that we are trying to improve as an organization as a whole. Hence the reason I have a couple of my command staff here just to get out and be visible. So it's one of my prime goals in this taking over this position. As we know, Chief Vanderboss was a data wizard, but he liked his spreadsheets. So getting us out into the community a little bit more as far as a command staff, we are definitely working on that.
Randy's the second best photographer in Rotary too.
If you would just quit talking about the outfit dancing all the time.
He's also the second best of the fire department. His wife was
Thank you. I'll tell you.
Anything else? Well, thank you again for having us. It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Great. Speech. Yeah, gonna get you see much that hurt. I'm going to make you want to cross a lot of questions. Yes, we're on this next. Just present a book, the chief has already signed. We're gonna have you guys sign it. Okay. We'll be presenting this to the library, and Beth will be taking it over there. Okay. This good? Good.
Yep.
What's the name of it, Dave? I missed it.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, we don't. No. Construction site firefighter. So it looks like a thing for kids to learn about firefighting and such.
All right. 1, 2, 3. Thanks, Al.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And anytime you're around the area, please feel free to stop in, have lunch. You don't know. You don't have to get up there and talk, but you're welcome. Don't forget to go over here and check in the Rotary wear. She'll have the logo put on, find your size, everything. And thank you all who wore your Hawaiian shirts today. And I got me a new one today. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, hey, I should have Stephen.
All right, is there anything else to be brought up today? I forget something.
Talk about patriotic wear for next week.
Oh, yeah, next week our speaker is gonna be talking about the 200th anniversary of the United States.
250th. 250th.
Anybody that has a shirt with flag,
Hey, everybody comb your hair too. We'll do a group picture.
we're all gonna put on it.
Especially, we're gonna just get dressed with this dude.
free. Green County Fairgrounds is having Gene pictures and it's still carried on by Sharon Banger flag burning. My day to retirement.
Yeah, that's so that's amazing. See all the flags being dedicated.
Whatever he said.
All right. Yeah, well, you're rich. For the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which is spacious and peaceful, fair, and just everybody ever see. We know that. Stay out of trouble. When you ever start short first meeting up to meeting, don't do that. It's not happening. Okay, Mr. Irving.